Let me start by doing a quick search to get some current context about Rich Dad Poor Dad and its relevance today. Welcome to another chapter in our journey through Rich Dad Poor Dad. If you've been following along, you know we've already covered some powerful lessons about how the rich think differently about money. Today, we're diving into chapter 4, which might just be the most eye-opening lesson yet. It's called The History of Taxes and the Power of Corporations. And trust me, what you're about to learn will completely change how you see the tax system. But before we jump into the new material, let's quickly revisit what we've learned so far. In chapter 1, we discovered that the rich don't work for money, they make money work for them. Chapter 2 taught us about financial literacy and the importance of understanding assets versus liabilities. Chapter 3 showed us the crucial difference between minding your own business and working for someone else's business. These lessons build on each other, and Chapter 4 is where everything starts to click together. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Robert Kiyosaki starts this chapter with the story of Robin Hood. You know, the guy who robbed from the rich and gave to the poor. Sounds noble, right? Well, here's the twist that most people never think about. The story of Robin Hood is actually the story of how taxes began. Initially, taxes were introduced with the promise that they would punish the rich. The idea was simple: take money from those who have plenty and redistribute it to help everyone else. But here's what happened next, and this is where it gets fascinating. The rich didn't just sit there and accept higher taxes. They used their knowledge, their financial education to legally avoid paying those higher taxes. They found ways around the system, perfectly legal ways. Meanwhile, the poor and middle class who didn't have this financial knowledge ended up bearing the heaviest tax burden. It's like the rich played a different game entirely while everyone else was still figuring out the rules. Think about how most people earn money today. You go to work, you earn a salary, and before you even see that money, the government takes its share through income tax. Your cash flow looks like this: earn, then tax, then spend. You're working with whatever's left after the government takes its cut. This is the reality for most employees, and it's exactly what keeps people trapped in the rat race. But the wealthy? They've discovered something completely different. They don't work as employees, they create corporations. And here's the game changer. Corporations have a completely different cash flow pattern. For a corporation, it's earn, then spend, then tax. They pay taxes only on what's left after all their expenses. This single difference gives the rich a tremendous advantage that most people don't even know exists. Let me paint a picture of how powerful this is. Imagine you want to take a vacation to Goa. As an employee, you earn money, pay taxes on it, and then spend what's left on your vacation. But if you own a corporation and you can justify that trip as a business expense, maybe you're meeting potential clients or attending a conference, then you pay for that trip before taxes. The corporation pays for your vacation and then pays taxes on whatever profit remains. It's completely legal, and it's exactly how the rich operate.
This isn't about cheating the system. It's about understanding the system. The rich create structures like corporations to protect their money and reduce their tax burden legally. These corporations provide three major benefits. First, expenses come before taxes, which means you can deduct legitimate business costs. Second, you get protection from personal liability, so your personal assets are separate from your business risks. Third, you can invest using pre-tax dollars, which accelerates wealth building significantly. But here's what Robert Kiyosaki really wants you to understand. The biggest difference between the rich and everyone else isn't just money, it's financial education. The rich understand money, taxes, and the law. They know how to use these tools to create financial freedom. Meanwhile, most people work harder and harder, paying more and more in taxes because they lack this crucial knowledge. Financial education is power. It's the difference between being trapped in a system and learning to make that system work for you. When you understand how money really works, when you know the rules of the game, you can start playing by the same rules the wealthy use. You can start building real wealth instead of just trading your time for money. The chapter emphasizes something really important here. This isn't about being greedy or avoiding your civic duties. It's about understanding that the current system rewards financial intelligence. Those who take the time to learn about money, taxes and legal structures can legally reduce their tax burden and protect their wealth. Those who don't learn these skills end up paying the highest percentage of their income in taxes. So what does this mean for you? It means that if you want to build real wealth, you need to start thinking like a business owner, not just an employee. You need to understand the 4 pillars of financial intelligence that Kiyosaki mentions. First is accounting, understanding how money flows and how to read financial statements. Second is investing, knowing how to make money work for you. Third is understanding markets, knowing what people want and need. And fourth is understanding the law, particularly tax law, and how to use legal structures to your advantage. The lesson here isn't that you should immediately quit your job and start a corporation tomorrow. The lesson is that you need to start educating yourself about how money really works. You need to understand that there are legal ways to reduce your tax burden and protect your wealth, but only if you take the time to learn about them. This chapter really drives home why financial education is so crucial. It's not just about making more money. It's about keeping more of the money you make. It's about understanding that the rules of money are different for different people, and if you want to change your financial situation, you need to learn the rules that the wealthy play by. As we wrap up this exploration of Chapter 4, remember that knowledge is power, but only when you apply it. The rich use corporations and legal structures not because they're trying to cheat anyone, but because they understand the rules of the game better than most people. They've invested time in financial education, and that education pays dividends for the rest of their lives. The choice is yours. You can continue playing by the rules that keep most people trapped in the rat race, or you can start learning the rules that the wealthy use to build and protect their wealth. The information is out there, the tools are available, but it's up to you to seek out this knowledge and apply it to your own financial situation.
Thank you for joining me on this journey through Chapter 4 of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. These lessons about taxes and corporations might seem complex at first, but they're absolutely essential if you want to build real wealth. Keep learning, keep growing, and remember that your financial education is the best investment you can make in your future.